Lotarg, our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for another work mode workout, and today was dynamic effort squat and deadlift day, which is usually my hardest day. It ends up being usually the most volume in work, and it's quite fatiguing, but we got a lot done today. But just a quick reminder for those of you who enjoy these videos and watch them every day, please click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Reach down there and do that, please. But today we made some slight changes on the speed pulls, but the speed squats we went ahead and did the normal wave as scheduled, which means the lowest volume, heaviest weight. So we did 60% 1 rep max, meaning 60% of my 11-inch box squat with a safety bar, right? Not my squat max, right? It's 60% of the max of this particular variation, then with 25% 1 rep max band tension added. So basically it's close to 60% at the bottom, 85% at the top. And then we do compensatory acceleration. And I may, coming up here, I'm really hating this safety bar, and I'm doing plenty of good mornings with it. This next phase, because this has basically been 6 weeks of this is 2 waves of the safety bar. I'm really dreading this thing. I'm thinking of going back maybe on the next wave and running like my buffalo bar or something. I've got a little time to think about it. Right, we'll think about it. And even though I feel like my T-spine's getting tremendous amounts of work here, you know, it's going to get it off the speed work with the bands and chains anyways, and I'm going to keep doing the safety bar squat good mornings as a very serious accessory. So it might be okay. And I can get a little more quad work in, or my other option would be just to allow the extra quad work to happen with the hip belt squats and keep using this for the upper back. So I've got a couple different ways we can approach it as far as the balance goes. But these went pretty good today. Happy with them. And I mean, I get really fatigued on these, but when I only have to do 8 sets and not 10 or 12, they're really not as bad, you know, because it's like I take my 60 seconds between and run and do them, and this is done in you know, 10, 12 minutes, right? And then I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But it starts to really wear on you after about set 7 or 8. But that's all I had to do today. So it's all good. And again, knocked it out relatively easily. Knocked it out easily. But the thing is I just feel my whole upper back and my chest and everything get pulled on so hard with the safety bar. And particularly with heavy band and chain tension. Because people have to remember, like, well, I mean, it couldn't be that much tension. And it's like, till they see all the chains and realize it's the same amount of band tension as change. And then they realize, wait, there's more than one band on there. Yeah. It's not just 60 pounds, guys. Like right now, I'm running on that 115 pounds of band tension. And for those like, well, how do you know? Well, we go off advertised weight, and I've measured them. I've measured them with digital scales, and I've measured some of them on camera before, right? So you guys can clearly see the rogue written on most of these bands if you look close enough and you see them in certain angles. And I've measured them with the digital scales, so there shouldn't be any question about them. I have found rogue bands to be within 1% usually of their advertised weights. I mean, they can be off a little bit. You know, a 65-pound set of bands might be 64 or 66 or something like that. It can be a pound off. But I'm not sweating a pound of band tension difference. I found them to actually be fairly accurate. They're fairly true to their advertised weights when I throw a digital scale on them and measure them. Like I pull them out to squat length. So I'll give them that. Then for speed pulls, I'm realizing after the way that the sumos went this week, I've got to really work technique. And you know, at Westside they normally do singles, and I've been doing some doubles. I prescribe doubles for not all of my clients, but a lot of my clients for speed pulls. But I feel like in my case, I've really got to get more sumo technique down. And that second rep, because I'm not regripping it, I feel like it's a different bar path. I really have to get my bar path and positioning down and my mobility. I've got major weak muscles on the sumo right now, which we're addressing with other supplemental work, like the hip belt squats, and by doing the really wide stance box squats. But, you know, some of these were even awkward, so I'm just going to do singles. I just need to work on singles, try to do just 10 singles on speed pulls at the normal prescribed waves. I'm going to just try to do 10 singles every speed day with these. Right? That's what we need to work on. Keep getting better at the sumo. Work on the mobility involved, because My muscles are not perfect for the sumo. Doesn't matter that I pull over 600 pounds conventional. I do need to get stronger at the sumo, and there's some muscle issues going on, muscle weaknesses. You know, people will say things, and this is where you can tell someone who's not a coach. You can tell they're a very recreational lifter when they will say, fix your form on an exercise to an advanced lifter. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little hint. When you see people saying that, they're incompetent. Like, that is a characteristic of a non-coach. Every single time. Like, you know immediately that is not somebody you should listen to. Pro tip. Because advanced lifters, is an advanced lifter fix their form? It's usually a muscle weakness. Mobility is a muscle weakness too, by the way. Okay. A coach will tell you get your VMO stronger. Get your erector stronger. You need to strengthen your hips from a certain position. Okay. You need stronger triceps. You need more upper back development, right? That's what a coach will tell you. They won't say fix your form, right? Everyone who's a coach listening, who's a strength coach, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. That is what a coach will tell you. Someone who just says to fix your form instead of specifically telling you a muscle weakness to fix is usually an ignorant jackass who maybe does a little training, but they've never trained anybody. They've never coached anybody. Like, straight up. They're a dumbass. Ignore them. You guys can all feel free to ignore them also. Coach will tell you what muscles to work on. What joint angles to work on to fix your form. They won't even mention your form. They won't even say the word form, usually. So, over to these. We have muscle weaknesses that need to be sorted. My adductors, my VMO, all that, right? And they're weak links for me on the sumo. They make it hard for me to get into that correct position and be powerful from it. And we fix that with all the supplemental work. We fix it by doing the speed pulls and working on them. But I'm fixing it largely with things like the hip belt squats with a very wide stance, those wide stance speed squats off the box, a deep box, right? To build all that up. It's going to take a little time. But, you know, all in all, happy with it. Percentages were the same as the box squat. A lot of these other lifts, I'm realizing I can get more of the supplemental lifts in than I need to hit the different angles if I do just 3 hard sets, 4 hard sets. Not try to do 5 on some of them. Because I have exercises I need to do 5 sets on. But they're usually easier to recover from. Right? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Good mornings. I need to get stronger at my 10 rep maxes. Right? I've done very large amounts of volumes with this stuff like 5 by 15, 5 by 20. Now I need to get strong. And by strong, I mean 10 rep strength. I don't mean necessarily my 1 rep strength. We might come and do it as a max effort exercise later. We might start doing some real heavy good mornings. But not right now. Not what I need at the moment. So that one felt decent. I'm like, I had reps in reserve. Let me go heavier. So I went up. Now we're up to 205. I cranked out 2 sets of 10 with this with a really good solid range of motion. Really felt both my hamstrings and particularly my whole upper back work, right? We get strong at these. Goal, I need to get up to where I do 3 by 10 with 225 on this with the safety bar. Okay, that's a goal. Now we're at that point with a lot of these supplemental lifts where I'm trying to get real strong. I've done a lot of work capacity building on a lot of these, and I have other lifts to do my high rep work. I don't need it for this stuff. I need to get strong. I need to have actual strength goals, because these strength goals are how I reach what I need to reach. That's how I get the size and strength where I need it. Okay, that's a new goal. I need to get up to 3 by 10 with 225 on this lift. Okay. And so I want to do more other work on these days so I can do 3 sets on this. Some days I haven't even been doing it because it's too hard after the speed work, but not today. We got in and we're going to do it today. But 3 sets. And you know what? 3 challenging sets considering the number of exercises I do today, that's fine. I'm going to hit everything else. So after those, we did glute ham raises, and I'm on that hard setting. I'm letting you guys see me set up there so you get an idea of how far up I am. I can't even put my leg in between the pad and the thing. It won't fit. So I have to just kind of climb up there. Did 3 sets of this with just body weight for now, because again, these are hard after doing other stuff. And I'm going to try to do these and keep building up my work capacity on these on my speed day after doing good mornings. And the fact that I can do these at all on the harder setting, I'm happy with. So I did 2 sets of 10, and then I managed to get 11 on the 3rd set. Same thing, 3 sets. Because I'm getting a ton of hamstring work. If we start talking about direct hamstring work after my speed work, I'm going to do 11 sets for hamstrings today. That's a lot. But it's from 3 different exercises. We're making sure we kind of hit everything. And especially with me having access to the reverse hyper, I need to just get a good challenging amount of volume on these. I don't need to push them out. If I have less tools, sometimes we have to do 5 or 6 sets of an exercise. If we have less tools available, I have different exercises, different equipment, different tools I can use. So I can kind of work these different angles and make sure I hit everything thoroughly. But each exercise, we still want to get enough training volume to get a good training effect. So same thing with these, 3 good sets. 3 good sets. Same thing kind of like what I do on the other days, although this is replaced on my max effort day with the hip belt squat, which we're going to push really hard too. Right? That's going to be a very high priority. Especially exercises like that, if they're easy to recover from. Push it hard. Push it hard. It's fine. You're in traction when you do it. You're in traction. So yeah, with these, the 3 sets should give me everything that I want. Especially I do 3 challenging sets of the safety bar good mornings. 3 challenging sets of the glute ham raises. Right? It's a good amount of hamstring work. It's a fair amount. And it's not like it's the only time I do this stuff every week. Right? We have 2 lower body days every week. This one tends to be slightly more hamstring dominant, and the other one a little more quad dominant. But the volume is very, very high on both. For those who haven't been following the max effort days, I'm doing more hip belt squats and a little less direct hamstring work. Then I decided, you know what? Do I really need pendlay rows right now? No. If I do good mornings and then a ton of reverse hypers every lower body day, do I need the extra posterior chain work? No. I do enormous amounts of it. These carry over better to my benching, which is a bigger weak link for me, right? Benching is a weak link. I need the upper back work. I need the lat work, all this stuff. And I need the grip work. Well, I can do these with the axle bar. And you know what? This is challenging for my grips because it's higher reps than my pendlay rows. This is really challenging for my grip and my forearms. So why not just do these every one of these sessions? They're easier to recover from. They'll work the grip training that I need. It'll work my whole upper back. Slightly better for the parts of my back that need the most work for my bench press. So why not do them? Focus on my weak points. And that's something that people need to realize here. Again, we kind of get that whole nonsense. Why don't you work more on your upper body? Your lower body so develop. It's like, guys, first of all, I'm trying to get to a 600 squat and a 650 deadlift right now. But yes, we are bench specializing. So, okay, on my lower body days, we can do supplemental work for my bench. Inverted rows, some curls, right? Because those are all important stabilizers for the bench press. Very important stabilizers for the bench press. Your upper back and your biceps? Oh yeah, you bet. Any good coach will tell you that. So I did 4 sets of those to failure. Then I'm like, let me just do some hammer curls immediately after. People might say, well, the hammer curls, the reps are a little lower than what you sometimes do. Yeah, because there's no break. Like I just went straight over the hammer curls. I had 60 seconds and I took 60 seconds between them. But 3 sets of these to failure. 3 sets of these to failure. After doing the inverted rows, was a ton of work for my biceps and forearms. They were kind of cramping. Keeping in mind that we're doing curls and upper back work 4 days a week. So 3 sets goes a long way. When you start extrapolating that out, that ends up being 12 sets for biceps every week. not counting the rowing. So that's a lot of work. And again, I don't mind doing higher reps for the upper back and the biceps. Why? Because they're not direct movers. I'm just concerned about thickening them up for stabilizing purposes. We may not be as concerned with overall performance, and any concerns at sets of 15 may not hypothetically give you as much strength. Okay, that is hypothetical, by the way. It's a point of contention. Max effort work should still develop the strength off the size, in theory, but I'm not as worried about that concern with these muscles because I need them to be support muscles. I just need them bigger, right? I need my arms bigger. I need my upper back bigger. So that's fine. And then we went over to the reverse hypers, and this is where I do a lot of volume with a lot of weight. I upped it another 10 pounds today, up to 380. What's the goal? 425 for 5 sets of 25. That is the goal that I've been given. That's the benchmark I have been given by a former West Side coach. That's what I've been given as my goal. And we're going to keep working towards it. And again, yes, I know we swing. And I know there are people who don't agree with that. And back to my other point, I always state, I don't care. This is how Louis Simmons teaches it. He owns the patent for this device. He used it to rehab his low back after breaking it. Deadlifted over 700 pounds after breaking his back and rehabbing it with this device. Okay? I'm going to listen to him. And it's not like if you want to argue, well, other ways could work just as good. Okay, that's fine. But we know that this works for him. We know it works for his athletes. Therefore, I'm going to do what works. Right? Is that fair? There we go. So the goal here is going to be, though, to get up to that super strong weight. And yes, there's swinging involved, but you have to think about the traction effect and the eccentric effect of that heavy weight pulling back down on the pendulum. Okay. Believe me, you feel it. I feel this exercise tremendously. I feel this exercise, especially when we start getting heavy on it, with these sort of training volumes, even with the swinging. I feel this exercise in ways I have not felt anything ever before. Okay? It's phenomenal. And I feel like it's going to be one of my tools to get me up to the next level and to do so safely without injuring myself. Because that's the name of the game, right? The name of the game is not to just squat 600 and deadlift 650. The name of the game is to do them without getting hurt. In my 40s. And this is one of the tools I use. You know, and this is again a case of an example of something I am going to do really high reps with. I'm going to do really high reps on it because it works. It works. But you know what? I felt good about today's session. I wasn't totally happy with even the technique today on the sumos, on the speed pulls. But I'm happy with the other work. I feel like I'm making progress. I'm finding my groove on a lot of this stuff. I'm getting these exercises, so performance is going up, the strength is going up. Finding what stuff will work better. Things like the axle bar inverted rows may be the best choice for me right now for back. At least for upper and middle back. And it's not because Penleys don't help most people. It's that I have so much other erector work. I don't need the extra erector work. I'm good. Between the good mornings and these, I'm probably pretty good because I do a lot of work on this stuff and I push these really, really hard. I'm not just playing around with these two exercises. Whereas in all the other upper back stuff is really just about volume. It really is just pump work. We're just trying to thicken that area up for better support. But again, other than maybe the speed pull technique today, overall happy with the workout. Great training session. Got a ton of work done. Got a little bit of PR weights on some of these supplemental lifts, which is what we want. We want to always get stronger at them. Right? That's the goal. Always get stronger at them. We train them hard. And again, that's paying off. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.